Hey, thanks for joining me today. I want to take a look and show you real quickly how we do our keyword research and what to expect from this deliverable. I've created a demo example of what the keyword research spreadsheet looks like. I'm going to walk you through the examples of creating 2 to 3 keywords out of the 20 to 50, however many your campaign ends up having, depending on the competition difficulty and the volume. So let's get started. This is going to be for Pixelcut Labs. So I'm going to walk you through the first couple of things. This is the keyword research sheet. This is the plan you're on. This is how much you're paying for it every month. And that just helps us calculate what it would cost and how that compares if you were to use that money on Google Ads. Nothing to make a decision with, but something to certainly keep in mind as to why you're doing SEO as opposed to or in partnership or in at the same time as Google Ads. So let's get started. First things first, the keyword. We're going to put the keyword, that's not supposed to say budget. I don't know why that's there. Okay, there we go. So keyword, I'm going to go over here. We use a tool called Ahrefs to inspire our keyword research. You probably filled out a worksheet called our keyword seeding worksheet. That's a proprietary worksheet that's part of our organic visibility framework program. So let's take a look. I'm going to use the keyword small business SEO as a seed keyword. So small business SEO. All right. So that keyword, here's all of our data according to Ahrefs. So I'm going to go ahead and move some of the stuff over. I'm just going to consider this a good keyword just based on what the campaign allows us for. So we're looking at a search volume of 1.1K. The parent topic is small business SEO. So that's the keyword. That just means that if we were to look for a keyword that had more searches that's related, that's the parent topic. So we try to go with the parent topic as much as often, since as much as often as we can. That was not English. So what I'm looking at here is the keyword. So I'm going to move that over, put that in small business SEO. Typically everything's lowercase. That's how most people search. It doesn't affect the search. I mean, if it does, it's very, very minor. So we've got 1,100 monthly searches. Okay. You can see right here, we're going to create a color scale automatically of which keywords have the most volume, just to visually be able to see what our targets look like. And the difficulty was 32. Let me describe this real quickly. So keyword difficulty is on a logarithmic scale. That's what it means by nonlinear right there. It's on a scale of 0 to 100. This section right here is easy. This is medium, which is 10. I believe that's 10 to 30. 30 to 70, I believe it is, would be considered hard, and 70 to 100 is very hard, if not impossible. This is calculated based on how many inbound links the top 10 URLs have on Google. So this is not just the quantity, it's the quality of the links. So right now, let's take a look. Let's show more in the SERP and see where Pixelcut Labs is ranking for this. So we're ranking number 19 for small business SEO nationally right now. So what I'm going to do is pull that over as number 19 and place that in the current rank. All right, so let's look at something else. Let's see what the people are paying for this keyword on AdWords, on Google Ads. $16 per click, okay? So 16. Now look what's happening here. We're multiplying 1,100, which is the monthly searches, times 16 times one other number, which is what the expected click-through rate is if you're in position number 1. So let's come over here and see what we've documented that as. That's going to be 22.84% for all keywords. So we're just saying if we get 22.84% of 1,100 searches, the value position 1 is going to be $4,019. So let's look at one other thing. So I'm going to put value of current rankings right here. This is where we currently rank. So that's the value of rank 19. That's automatically calculated as well. But that's less important than what we're about to do for this keyword. So we're going to look at intent assumption. This is a guess that I make as an SEO professional who's been in the field for over half a decade, if not longer. Yes, longer. So the intent assumption. So let's look at this. So what do I think this is going to mean? This to me looks like it's a service-based search. So people are looking for services. So that puts them in, it doesn't put them in necessarily the learning phase. They've already learned. This puts them in the research to buy phase. So research to buy. Now let's take a look. So this campaign is based in Dallas. So what I do is come over here to a new tab, small business SEO. So that's our keyword. Now, this is coming from Austin. I'm in Austin right now. So I use a built-in tool in Google Chrome to come into here. I don't know if you can see my screen if it's showing that, but I'm in the inspect section, and then I'm going to setting more tools, clicking on sensors, and then changing the geolocation sensor to Dallas using Dallas's geocoordinates. So now that I've done that, Google's going to start thinking that we're searching from Dallas. So what I'm going to do is reload this page. And the way I check it is by coming down here, and no, it's not. So what I do is click use precise location, and now it thinks I'm in Dallas, even though I'm in Austin. So now when I search, it's searching a localized keyword. This is only important if you're doing local search, if you're optimizing for local. Now you can see we rank 19 nationally, but in Dallas, since we're a Dallas-based company and we use Dallas often in our pages and on our site content, as well as in our schema markup and Google Local Pack. Right here, we've got small business SEO services comes up number 3 instead of 19. I'm going to use the number 19 because this is technically a national campaign, but I want to check a couple of things. Number 1, I'm checking, does this have a local pack? A local pack is that map that has 3 little sections under it. This does not have a local pack. I'll show you what a local pack looks like when you have one. So Dallas SEO Company, this is a local pack, and you can see we're not in the local pack, but we rank number 2 for that search. So you can see here, let's go ahead and go back to keyword to the research and say there's not a local pack for small business SEO. All right, so I'm writing not present there. Knowledge card, now that's something different, okay? So here's what a knowledge card looks like. Let's see if this brings it up. So this is a knowledge card, but this is not necessarily one that I would consider a good one because this is coming directly from Merriam-Webster, typically, unless Google has decided to create their own dictionary, which for some reason I'm thinking seems to be kind of the case. I'm not saying the Merriam-Webster link anymore. So let's take a look. Let's see. How do I do SEO? All right, here's a knowledge card. See how this is different than the rest of what Google shows? This is a much more enticing link to click because we've got a photo right here, and we've got all of these bullets right here. And what this is doing is it's just pulling from the headings on the page. So you can see number 1, number 2, number 3. So that's a knowledge card. This means that people are looking for information typically. That's what that informs us to. Whereas the local pack makes it seem like Google is understanding that people are looking for local businesses. So, and let me explain why I say that. So number 1, we've got this whole idea that Google needs to get users to come back to Google to make ad revenue because that's their business model. When people click on these up here, Google makes money. Google gets people to come back to Google by showing the best results. And they do that by understanding and estimating very accurately, in most cases, what users are looking for. So this right here shows us that Google is trying to give informative data to users by showing an informative website and giving them the information on the search engine results page, or the SERP. Okay, so with that, oh, it's not even showing the right screen. Alrighty, so massive spider just fell from my ceiling onto my desk, and I just kept trying to get it, and it was faster than me. So that was the reason there might have been a little bit of a cutoff there. All right, so let's get back to this. So we were looking, I don't even remember where I was. All right, so I was talking about how Google best understands what the search intent is. So with that in mind, we understand that this is not going to work. A product page is not going to work here. A service page is not going to work here because this is an informational search. How do I do SEO? Nobody's going to be. But the only way to get into this section for service pages is really to use AdWords or Google Ads. So let's go back here. I'm going to put here for small business SEO and searched in Dallas. Let's make sure it's still searching from Dallas. Yep, it is. All right, I'm going to put not present. There's not necessarily, this is not, I would not call this a knowledge card at the end of the page. It's a vague definition. Technically it is one, but it does not fall under what we're looking for here. Every time I feel a little blow of something, I feel like it's a spider. Okay, knowledge card, not present. All right, so here's the page that Pixelcut Labs wants to rank. So we've got small business SEO, right? So we want this page to rank. This is a service page. We've got information about a service. We've got conversion forms and then a request a quote form. So let's search that and see how many other service pages there are. So we've got this, which is a guide, so no. This is a service. So yes, and yours truly, this is a service. So that's 2. That's not a service. So that's still 2. Small business SEO in 2019. Let's see what this is. This is informational. So that's still 2. That's a checklist. So 2. This is still 2. Okay, here's another service. That's 3. And here's another service. That's 4. So 4 out of the top 9 results. Technically, there's 10 down here. These count according to some people, but we're going to consider the search engine ranking page as a 10 result page because it varies around there, but typically it's around 10 results. And we're going to say, I believe it was 3 of the ones. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of the 10 results on that page are considered similar. All right, so the first service page ranking, what we're looking for is the first competing page. It's not necessarily going to be a service page. Let's write similar here. This template needs to be fixed up. Okay, so the first one's going to be this one right here. So number 2, which is a good sign. That means that service pages are high intent, which means people are looking for service pages in these searches, which means we have a good chance of ranking service pages. The primary makeup of the top 10, let's see what that is. So we've got 4 out of 9, technically speaking, that are service pages, which means right around most of them. So the primary makeup is going to be service pages because we have different types of information. This is a research study. This is a guide. This is a checklist. These are questions, but let's say it's a mix of, this is no particular way, mix of service and informational. All right, so the page that we want to rank on our site, and depending on if your website is finished and built out well, we'll put these here for you. Sometimes we won't if the website's new or if you don't have the appropriate pages, we'll write TBD, and then I'll write current on-site status of keyword. Let's see, we've got small business SEO in the text. Small business SEO. So I'm going to write yes, it's in the text. Is it in the title? I'm going to check the meta title, click inspect. I'm not sure if you can see this, but let's see. We've got the meta title as small business SEO services. So yes, keep clicking the wrong tab. And then small business SEO is directly in the URL. Please say there's not a spider on my, okay, we're good. Okay, so yes, it is in the URL. So I'm going to go back here and write yes. This doesn't change anything on our sheet. This is just our checkup. It simplifies our process going forward. So our domain authority is high. I have the ability to say, yes, I believe we can target this keyword, even though it's a difficulty of 32, because we're already ranking pretty well for this keyword locally. And we're getting there. We're on the bottom of the second page nationally. So as the agency, what we're going to do when we send you a proposed keyword list is we're going to say this should be a service page. So service, product, something like that. A page where a transaction might actually happen or a quote might actually be requested. Then there's non-service page, and a non-service page is going to be something like a blog post, a resource guide, informational data, things like those ones that we saw on the small business SEO search that weren't necessarily transactional. Then we're going to say brand keyword. This one's used very rarely because this is searches for your brand name. So a brand keyword for Pixelcut Labs is going to be Pixelcut Labs, or a misspelling of that, or PCL SEO agency, for example. And then we've got save for later, which means we don't believe right now it's a good time to target this keyword. This is going to be, other than the service page, the most common one you see, because sometimes difficulty 32 is astronomically too high for a new domain. So what we'll look for those in those cases is difficulties between 5 and 10. And if it's 5 and 10, if there's enough monthly searches, then we can make that suggested use. So let me go through my thought process of why I'm going to recommend this be a service page. So the keyword small business SEO. We're trying to rank a service page, and there are 4 other service pages in Google, which means Google is ranking service pages for this search. Now, on top of that, the first one of those service pages shows up in position 2, which is another great sign. They're not the secondary search. They're primary to low primary, but I mean, it's not number one, but still Google shows a good mix in the SERPs most of the time. So we've got in mind that there are a lot of service pages that are similar, and the first one comes up at the top and gets 25% of the clicks, 22% of the clicks. We're also going to take into consideration that the bid is rather high. So this is a much better keyword to target with SEO than it is with Google Ads, because if we get, it would cost us this much money to target every month with Google Ads. And then I'm also going to say that we're currently ranking for it pretty well, which is another great sign. Now, on top of that, there's no knowledge card, so it's not necessary. It doesn't look like it's a something that's related to learning or info seeking. And my intent assumption was correct in that it's research to buy based on what we found here. So with all of that in mind, I'm going to make the recommendation to the client of Pixelcut Labs, who are a client of ours, that this become a service page or be used as a service page or continue to be used as a service page. All right. That's all I'm going to fill out before I send this to you. And then we're going to do that for however many other keywords we do. This is a 10 to 20 hour process. In most cases, sometimes it can take 50 hours to do keyword research, because when we're looking at things, we end up going through about 10,000 keywords to find the right ones. And I'll show you how we might find some other keywords. So number one, we've got this small business SEO keyword here, but we've got a massive search here, 6.8 thousand for SEO company. So I'm going to click into SEO company and learn a little bit more about this. So we've got SEO company. We've also got what does an SEO company do, which has, 1/100th the amount of searches. So we're going to put keywords into a list by adding them to a keyword list over here. And when I go to, for example, the Keyword Explorer and click on our list, let's see. Here are all the keywords that we're thinking about using for Pixelcut Labs. And we might come across something that's more niche related, like enterprise SEO. And you can see it has similar searches. So enterprise SEO services, enterprise SEO company. So in this case, we might only target enterprise SEO, which only has 250 searches. But when you add it together, you add 70, you add 80, you add all different keywords that are similar, you end up piling it up. So we might say we're targeting a keyword that has 1,100 searches, but frankly, let's see how many keywords this 1,100 actually turns into. Small business SEO also targets things like small business SEO services, because you can see here, when I search small business SEO services, Pixelcut Labs is still coming up number 2, even though our target keyword is small business SEO. So that's 800 more searches. We're actually coming up higher for the keyword we're not targeting because it's got the same words in it. Let's go back to Ahrefs, and you can see small business SEO company, SEO services for small business. All of these are targeted by the small business SEO search term. And when you see 1,100 on your actual keyword research report, that might actually mean 10,000, because all of the related keywords, if we're not targeting them here. So when we send this to you, the last step is going to be for each of the keywords, go through and say, you agree with our decision to make this a service page. Okay. Or you disagree. Not okay. And then tell us why you think it's not okay. If it doesn't match your brand, if you don't offer the product or service, if you don't think the intent is right, and if you don't want to rank a keyword because it's just not your mojo. So that gives you an idea of how to do keyword research. If you need any questions, reach out to your client success advocate. She or he will be very happy to help you. And we're here to support you. Welcome to the family. I know this is an early stage in the process, so this is resource intensive. It gets a little confusing. If you need anything, we're here to support you. Thank you so much for choosing Pixelcut Labs, and off to the races.